Hey guys, so we're here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the long-awaited Mythic Legion's Poxxus Wave, Zendei, Amethyrr. This, of course, brought to us by the fine folks over at Horsemen Studios. And one of the characters in this wave that I wasn't looking forward to, gonna be honest, a lot of reuse here, but you know, that's okay. I'll let Four Horsemen get away with that, because when they reuse parts, they still look just as good as they did the first time, and this guy's no exception to that. I would say this guy is probably the Lord Bardrick of this wave, shy of not having a lightning effect for his staff, like all the other magic users. Seems kind of weird that he got snubbed. He pretty much is the complete package, as far as a, you know, if you're not a fan of the 2.0 bodies, he's a 1.0 body. And if that's what you want out of your wizard, mage, sorcerer character, then this is your man. That said, he also doesn't come with the little accoutrements on his belt. Those are from the accessory set. So, kind of got to spruce him up a little bit. But he does come with all the hands. Comes with a couple heads. And why don't we cut right to the chase. Take a look-see at Zendei's accessories, since we are talking about them. For starters, he comes with, of course, the inverted open hand and correct hinge grip hand. It's very nice. I like that a lot. Then he comes with a pair of grip hands with the inappropriate hinges. No fists for our wizards. They ain't throwing down in the pit, I guess. But, that said, he does, of course, come with an alternate head. Excuse me, this one, like Amethyrr Scroll Warden, has the kind of glowy effects on it, which I'm torn on what heads I'm going to use. I might use these glowy heads because they got a little bit more paint apps going on. Paint on the forehead there, but I'm not too sure. I will say, does any wizard in Mythos have hair? These guys are all bald. And like Amethyrr, this guy has a bit of a Indian, Middle Eastern vibe to him, which I think is pretty cool. A little diversity, never hurt anybody. No, unless you're stupid, that is. That said, he does come with 3 magic effects, and I'm not the biggest fan of these. Like, they look like they should connect the way they're sculpted, but they really don't. And what's weird is they're like 2 parts. Like, there's a hard plastic piece and then a soft plastic piece on the front. It's like a ring. And yeah, that's, I don't know why that is. And I say that because one of them came unglued on me. This one, I was trying to heat it up to fit it over his arm so I could have all 3 of them on there, but you can't really do that. And because of that, this one came unglued. That said, I do have the Good Guy Magic Effects pack. And I think this is the same set of pieces that you get twice in that, so I'll just swap them out for those. I think they're even the same color. That said, he does come with the final accessory, his staff, which I know what you're probably thinking. Hey, you said he didn't come with lightning for his staff. Well, he doesn't. But, the Arizak Lightning is blue in the Good Guy Effects pack, so I threw that on here, and it looks really good. This is, of course, the shorter Arizak Lightning, because his wand is very kind of short. Like, it's not taller than he is. It's not even the same height. So, it's, I would argue, a little bit more practical, but you can pop the end off there, and then that'll slide right out. I would say heat these up before you go cramming them on there, but I haven't had any issues with them. Knock on wood, it stays that way. And just a bit of a follow-up from the Amethyrr video, I did actually pop Arizak's hands out without having any issues, so, you know. Do I plan to do that 50 million times? Probably not, but, you know. I figured I'd test it since I did have that issue with my Thrace, which is the only hand that seems to have that problem. But there's his staff back together again. I like the staff I think the top's a little large. I think they could have maybe shrunk that a bit and had this be longer. I don't know. I just like a little bit of practicality. That said, my favorite figure's got a weird lantern bug leg thing on his staff, so who am I to judge, right? So bringing Amethyrr in closer. Got him on a stand, even though he is a 1.0. He has no trouble standing. He stands up just fine there. But as far as articulation goes, since Poxxus was technically kind of a mashup, whatever, mishmash, I think that's the right phrase, right? Of 1.0 and 2.0. I'll go over the articulation here. That video was a little long, and like Thrace was only like, what? It's like less than 15 minutes. It's relatively short. So, you know, the 2.0 articulation breakdown. If you want that, watch this video. That video. What am I doing? Zendei can look up and down. I'm leaving all those F-ups in, okay? He can tilt side to side. He can rotate. He, like Amethyrr and Thrace, has a wired cloak. And on him, I'm able to get the cloak to sit a little better on his head. I will say these cloaks are a little tricky to get to sit just right, but it can be done. He does have pauldrons under that cloak. And I'm not sure if these are unique to him or not, but they do hinge up and down. He does have hinge shoulders that can pop up and rotate. He's got a single hinge in the elbow with rotation. He's got a swivel in the gauntlet. I already saw the wrist articulation when I went over the hands. He's got the ball joint in the waist. It's not loose like my Poxxus. It's actually really tight. So that's good. And when I say that, I mean the peg isn't loose. The thing is like in place. It's just that thing is moving on the ball itself. If I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's not, but honestly I don't care. With him, it's whatever. Poxxus's, I think, was generally loose. Poxxus's? Generally? I don't know what I'm doing. That said, as I mentioned previously, he's got the little potion bottles, or little, are those bags? Maybe that's what that is. And some scrolls on his belt. Those are from the accessory set. He did not come with those, but he looks good with them, so I left him on there. His hips can kick forward and back. I will say, is it just me or do the Legion's hips, at least on the 1.0s, not so much the 2.0s, but the 1.0s seem very tight compared to the Cosmics. Like I got good old Noveline and Thaigar sitting off to the side there, and their hips are kind of, they're not floppy, but they're not like tight like this. This is like tight and butter smooth. Jeez, little friggin' wheeze, man. So, you know, that's nice. Feels good in hand. He can kick out, although I will say it is hindered quite a bit from all the business going on. So you're going to have trouble with that. I will say, I'm not a fan of the legs that don't kick in all the way. Because these seem like they're spread out a bit. They could be out a little more. But that is what it is. He's got the thigh cut. He's got the single knee. He's got the swivel below the knee, and then he's got the foot, the ball hinge ankles that do rotate at the top of the ankle, and then they do hinge back and forth, and as you saw, you get the rocker. This side's a little loose, but if these are in fact like black boots, I'll just swap the Furious 4 boot feet onto this guy, because I do have an extra pair of those. I kept those. I actually sent a lot of my Furious 4 extra bits to a friend of mine because I bought 5 of them. So I have plenty of parts. I kept, you know, extra hands and stuff, but all the extra heads and whatnot, I did wind up getting rid of some of those. So getting him on the stand here. Easier said than done with the 1.0s. They are a little bit tighter on these stands, but nothing I can't handle. Stand him up there. I will give him his staff. He's got like a designated area to grab onto it too. I will say the right hand was a little looser than the left here. So that's why I'm kind of going with that to hold the staff. That it kind of complements Thrace, Wraithhaler a little bit. They're both holding their wands in their left hands, and I think they're like rivals of some kind. She's like a ghost chick, but she seems young like this guy. As young as a ghost chick can be. So they seem like a good matchup as far as like versus stuff goes. Or maybe he's even Arazak's rival. I don't know. I don't know the whole story, just what it says on the box. So with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's good old Zendei Amethyrr, alongside the fellow wizard from the congregation of Basilia that I currently have. I'm sure there will be more, and I'm sure I've missed some, but we have Amethyrr Scrollwarder, who I looked at earlier today. That said, we also have a member of the Circle Poxxus in Thrace Wraithhaler. And if you don't like me rolling the R's with these names, well then tell 4 Horsemen not to put like 7 R's in one name, alright? It's too much fun not to do it, right? Right? I don't know. But as you can see, he is of course a 1.0, so he's a little bigger than these two. And I think for a lot of casual Legions collectors, is going to be the one they gravitate towards because he's the bulkier one. He's a little bit more durable, a little bit more sturdy, while Amethyrr, not, you know, how do I say this? A lousy figure construction-wise, like at all. He's very, very nice and feels great in hand. I think people just like bulkier figures. They're sturdier, more durable, as I said. And a lot of people, when it comes to Mythic Legions, they prefer the 1.0s, myself included. But I will say, Amethyrr is probably the better wizard figure because he comes with more, we'll say, useful accessories. His staff has its own unique effect piece. I mean, you get it in the effects pack, but you know what I mean, right? And then the only thing he's really lacking is something for his hand. I think Arazak is like the complete package. Other than the spell book, that's the only thing I added to him. Well, all these other guys I've added stuff to. So, getting them out of here. And great, Amethyrr don't want to stand. Even though he's on a stand. What is going on here? I bet his staff fell or something. No, I was putting him down crooked. Yeah, maybe that's why. This would not be one of my reviews without bringing in Brother Mandibulus. And the infamous 11th Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everyone, even though Zendei does have quite the hood going on. I will say, that out of all the guys with hoods, his seems to sit the best, I think. Spawn's getting a staff to the face there. But, it's still, you know, decent on the other figures. I just think Zendei's here. I don't know if it's because it's a 1.0, because there's more to work with. I'm not sure how that works, but it seems like his does sit a little lower than the rest. So, with that being said, random side tangents about Wired Soft Goods aside, it's time now that we wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and if you're looking to add a wizard character to your Mythic Legions collection that A, doesn't utilize the 2.0 body buck, or B, is a little bit more generic in terms of character design. Now granted, I wouldn't call any Mythic Legions character generic as far as character design goes, but I will say that compared to good old Zendei Amethyrr here, Amethyrr Scrollwarder seems to have a little bit more of a distinct look, maybe because of the soft goods. I would say of the three, though, Arazak has the most distinct look with the added armor piece and the accoutrements on his robe. But in my opinion, good old Zendei here is the quintessential wizard character, mage character, whatever you want to call it character, sorcerer character, for a casual Mythic Legions collector. Maybe not someone who's out to collect them all, we'll say, but one that wants to have a wizard, sorcerer, mage, you know what I'm talking about, for their display. And while he didn't come with an effect piece for his staff, I actually added that from the effects pack, the good guy effects pack, of course. He did come with some magic effects for his hands, and while I'm not 100% sold on the magic effects for the hands in this line, they are nice. They look nice. They're pretty cool. They fit nice and snug on the wrist. I just wish you could utilize all three of them on one arm. That would look really cool. Kind of like something's charging up or whatever, you know? But at the end of the day, I can't say that Zendei's my favorite of the wave, but as I mentioned when I started this journey through the Poxxus wave, there is no bad Mythic Legions figures. There are just some I like more than others. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.